his message to you guys. Grayson may have already relayed the information to you guys, I assume. But Dr. Lee, as the chair of the department, is deciding to utilize the ENG 141 space as a senior project space, and is requesting that you, as a club, provide information about the kind of floor space you guys need for your project room, as well as for meeting rooms, to find alternate locations for your club activities. I believe that's the long and short of it. Grayson, if you believe I've grazed over anything, or if you want me to elaborate on anything, I'm open to doing that.
I mean, I'll just ask if anyone has any questions. They can put them in the chat and we can...
Yeah, I'll go to the chat right now.
So, Maya's asking what happened to the agreement when we met with Dean Ehrman and Dr. Okamoto last semester.
Was that a meeting that involved the mall as well, Dr. Viswanathan?
Yes.
I guess the long and short of it is, Hoyun has tried to put forth this as the plan for future space use for that space. In terms of that agreement, met with Cheryl and Nicole last semester. I don't really know how to describe what is going on with that agreement. All I know is that this is the decision that Hoyun has arrived at as the chair.
Thank you.
I do remember what you're talking about, though.
So Brett asked a couple of questions. First question is Dr. Lee willing to work with us in good faith? None of his communications so far seem to send that message, and is the official reason that he's kicking us out of that room because of senior project? He said in an email yesterday that is because of our actions as a club.
Yeah, that's the point. I believe that in terms of this, as a consequence of those actions, I believe that's kind of like what is it? What's the word I'm looking for here? Not extenuating, but I guess an exacerbating factor in the situation. But I that in terms of the official reason of you guys being moved out of the room. Let me see. I just want to make sure that I phrase this the way Hoyan wants it framed, but I believe that the deal is that based on my understanding of what Hoyan has told me so far, yes, the reason is because of actions in the club. But he also made it clear to me that the intended use of that space is going to be for senior projects. In terms of willing to work with you guys in good faith, I guess what would you guys be looking to do?
I think what Brett is referring to there is, and what Nate is referring to is, amended mistakes so we can stay in the room of that sort of issue.
Okay, so like reconciling with Hoyan, I guess, is what you guys are saying.
Yeah, we also don't have any paper trail to the club of needing to move out of the cage. So this has been the first and only notice that we've gotten about that.
If you guys want to meet with Hoyan and discuss this, I would be very happy to have that happen. I can ask Hoyan about making time for that kind of a meeting. I don't know that I can tell you that that is going to make the amendments that you guys want to have happen, because I'm not Hoyan. I think that he would at least be willing to meet with you guys as leads if that's something you guys wanted to do as we're doing now. But I would have to ask him. And then Grayson, in terms of the paper trail, Hoyan was telling me that he had, I don't know who he did it with now, since you guys are saying that there's no paper trail of it. But he did tell me about clarifying of not occupying that space. But again, I don't know what kind of communications he sent out to the group.
I believe the issue that ran into was that he never spoke to us. He spoke to Zhang and others and kind of expected us to hear about that from them.
He spoke with Lynn?
I believe so.
I
do not know for sure.
Okay. I will check with Lynn then. Normally, when a chair communicates that to a club advisor, I believe normally it is supposed to be meant to be communicated with the club that they advise. You could ask Lynn about what kind of trail there is there. That's what he's told. Okay, so I guess he had talked with Lynn about it then, is what I'm hearing. So I guess we would need to contact Lynn about whether or not she he was trying to talk to you guys at all about this or not.
Okay.
In mind.
Let's see, are there any other questions that still need to be answered?
Okay, Maya's asking about okay, so going in order, okay, so you guys have not received any communication about this from Lynn, correct? Is that what I'm, yeah. Okay, so you, Khalil, and Grayson all have said no. I'll assume that means that the rest of the leadership team did not do it.
Yeah.
Going back to Maya's point, where's that? Maya, that Ho Yun told you guys to do what you guys did? Komodo, Furman, Mike, and the other staff. Khalil is talking about the floor plan. I think I spoke in person with Grayson, and I think that I may have seen one of the floor plans from like the before and after for the wind tunnel. I don't know if I'm included on communications about your guys' floor plans for space planning and like planning with the chair. If you guys send it way in terms of documentation. I don't remember anything specific, but if you guys find emails with it and you can forward them to me.
I think the difficulty that Maya is trying to get to is that Okamoto, Furman, Mike, and others would walk into the room multiple times and confirm that everything looked good, and then the chair himself was, from what Maya is saying, the chair himself also came to the room and saw the stuff in the cage and is only now making issue about it.
So in terms of Hoyan being present at meetings, He has not told me anything about that. Like, you know, giving verbal approvals or saying that he's walked through space, seen what is there, and then approved of what's there. He hasn't told me anything about that. So I honestly can't confirm or deny, right, that what you're saying is correct. It sounds like there's some things that need to be clarified in terms of what's been agreed upon. I'm certainly not like in any position to approve or deny anything. In terms of Furman approving stuff, I guess this was also another miscommunication in some way, but Furman is not an approver for that space. Meaning he doesn't determine how it's used or, you know, any kind of floor plan or anything like that. I don't believe Mike is either, not in the way that, not in terms of space usage. He can approve things from a safety perspective. And then Okamoto, in terms of changing command, I guess you would. I don't really know how that works. I don't know what the
if I can speak for 1 second. From what I got from the meeting, he has very much made this decision. If anything, the only trail or previous approval that he was interested in was whatever approval we originally got when we moved into 141 10 years ago. Beyond that, he was not interested in any other more current verbal approvals or conversations.
Okay.
And Dwan can correct me with if anything about that was misconstrued.
I wouldn't say so. He definitely alluded to the initial, like, I guess you could say charter of the room. I don't know if that's because he's not aware or because he's disregarding it. But we can, I don't want to leave too much of this as a verbal conversation. So let's see, how can we, first of all, are there any other questions about the space that we need to kind of like get out in the open?
Yeah. I think for sure we can, if anything else regarding previous approvals and stuff, we would have to be put into an email with other people.
Because I don't want to like have all this verbal conversation and kind of generate any kind of understanding, and then kind of have it be like, you know, if you guys talk to Hoya, and then, oh, you know, we talked to Dewan about this and that, right? And then, you know, we all, you know, I have not had a great memory in the last few days of my daughter and my sleep schedule, so I don't want to just leave things kind of in this voice call. I would rather have things written down so that we can kind of trace things down. But if there are questions that we can kind of move this conversation along, I think we should put those, you know, definitely you know, put them in the chat, and then we can kind of see where things go. Okay, Brett. Understand, approval. It's fine, these problems come forward. I guess you probably should discuss that. Can we have any assurance that it's not all personal data against it? Okay. That is a great question. Thanks for being thorough with it. No, that's fine. Yes, technically, Dr. Lee can Dr. Lee can determine the space usage of ME spaces, right? So if you are in an ME space, yes, he has the authority to do that. Can we have any assurance that you're going to hold a personal vendetta? In terms of holding a personal vendetta, as far as I understand it, that cannot happen, right? The actions that he takes right now, if he has declared them as a consequence of your actions so far, that's the limit of it, right? You accept the consequence, you move forward. That said, I don't know, like, if you guys are feeling that there is a personal vendetta against you, I don't know, like, right now what to tell you to do if that's where you guys are at. I think that would be for further discussion with, I guess, with the dean, but I'm not in a position to advise you guys how to proceed there. I really would rather have that be discussed with, I guess not with Holiness, since that would be the issue, but with someone from higher administration that is better equipped to, like, handle those kinds of situations. Right, I am not in an administrative position really, so I'm going to answer you to the best of my ability, but I don't want to, like, give you guys bad information or bad ways to move forward, you know, giving you guys the impression that you guys are equipped to handle the situation, and maybe, you know, I'm saying something wrong, right? But in terms of a personal vendetta, that cannot happen. Professionalism has to guide these interactions, right? So Hoyen can't be personal in his actions against you, and you guys can't be personal in your actions with Hoyen, and, you know, college staff in general. So that's like the bottom line there, right? I know that is true, right? Even in coworker to coworker situations, you have to be professional, right? So I assume that has to be a guiding principle in your guys' interactions with Hoyen. And if you feel that is not happening, I believe that the dean would be the next person to talk to, or maybe the associate dean, right? Dr. Okamoto would be the next person to talk to. You may also confer in your club advisor. That is a different professional relationship at work, right? Dr. Jung is a junior faculty in the department, so the dynamics are different, but that is another recourse you guys have. Thanks, Brett, for understanding. I don't get any pleasure in kind of conveying this kind of news to any club. In terms of you guys feeling that he is assuming the worst in you guys, I think that a meeting with him and you guys as a lead team may be beneficial to that, to kind of, like, allow time to round the edges of what's going on, if that kind of makes sense, right? You know, Grayson had the initial meeting with Mike, me, and Hoyen in the room. Obviously, you guys are not in a great situation, and I totally understand that. And I think Hoyen, to his extent, knows that as well, right? So we have time now to kind of put into writing things that you guys have come to understand. You guys can send that to me, to whoever to Hoyen, to whoever you guys feel is appropriate, or whoever you feel comfortable discussing it with, and just to have it in writing, right? Not even to converse about it, just to have it in writing, so that you don't have to rely on your memory about it. It's just there, right? Obviously, whatever you guys write at this point, if there's not previous documentation about it, you could only have it as, like, your best summary of the record of things that have happened so far. But that's still better than nothing, right? And if we're able to have another meeting with Hoyan, we may be able to further the conversation about things, right, and reconcile things. But I just don't know if the result of that kind of a reconciliation would have anything to do with the 141 space. I'm just not in a position to know what Hoyan would think of that at that point, since he's the decision maker and we're talking about a hypothetical future conversation. Does that make sense? And if anything I'm saying sounds like convoluted or needs clarification, just let me know, because like I'm trying to think about this as we go along as well. But yeah, so if anything's unclear, just let me know, and I'll try to like backtrack and reformulate stuff.
I think you've answered all of our questions.
Okay.
Thank you for the time. We will for sure send you an email. We'll send everyone an email if we have any other questions that need to get answered. But,
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. I wish it was under better circumstances, and I personally, I feel badly about you guys kind of being disrupted in the middle of the semester like this. But yeah, but Okay. Well, thanks again, everyone. You guys have, if you guys have anything else, as Grayson said, you guys can talk to me, personally, via email, in person. I think you guys know where my office is, or you guys can talk to Grayson, and we can kind of further conversation later. Grayson, am I correct in understanding that you guys would want to meet with Hoyan again as lead, or are you not really interested in pursuing that, or?
We will have a discussion between everyone. Due to how he acted during the meeting on Monday, there would be more than just leads involved. We would have to get the deans involved. So I think there's other things. It would be a lot, but that would all be email pursued afterwards. You don't have to worry about that right now.
Okay. I won't do anything then. I'll just keep an eye out for your guys' communications. And any other questions you guys have, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay. After I make sure this is dealt with. So, who the fuck wants to talk? Most leads should have the ability to just come talk. If any non-leads want to come talk, throw it in chat and I can invite you up.
So I think we were pretty good about if someone came into the room, we put something in leads chat. And I'm pretty sure if we go look, we will find things like how they told us to move past the pillar. That should be in Discord somewhere. So that could be a good log for our verbal stuff. And then people put in general chat all the time if someone comes in when we're not there. So I think we should take some time to look for that.
I think none of that matters.
Yeah. Unfortunately, from my meeting on Monday, which I know I've talked to many about, he does not give a shit.
I think it will matter though if you go to Dean Erman, which I know Khalil was saying you shouldn't. I think you should. I think having that would help.
Khalil's actually already reached out to the dean.
Yeah.
And the dean referred us back down to the chair.
Well, she also said we talked to Okamoto, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Okamoto has also referred us back to the chair.
Oof. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Unfortunately, they have decided to back him in this endeavor. He has made it very clear that he does not give a crap about anything but making sure the club doesn't just cease to exist from his actions. He does not care about us having community space for being able to meet and do stuff during the week. He does not care about us having a room for general. He does not give a shit about any of that. He does not give a shit about any verbal agreements between anybody. He did not care when I tried to make it clear that there was misunderstandings that occurred. He had made his decision.
If so, going forward, if our infractions as a club is ever important to anybody, like if Akamoto cares or something, it's we made good faith mistakes and he went nuclear on us. That's basically all that matters.
Yes, because I think what he wants to do in the long run is he wants to take 141 and split it up between a whole bunch of different faculty and have them all do their research projects in there.
Well, Devon was saying it's for senior project.
No, I know.
And then also in his email, yesterday, he said it was because of our infraction. So he's talking out of not even both sides of his mouth. He's talking like he's got 3 mouths. I don't know. It's like even so. Yes, it's like all of this is all in his power and all that, but like there's no tact in the way he's operating. There's no like. So here's the plan. This is how things are happening. It's a million things are happening for a million different reasons.
Yes. Because he is officially using it for it is very similar to what Khalil had happen 6 years or so ago. The person claimed that they were using the room for a class purpose, and thus by claiming that they were using the room for the class purpose, they are allowed to kick anybody out of the room that they want. And so we're getting kicked out of the room. In Khalil's case, it was a bullshit purpose, which ended up biting said chair in the ass significantly more. In our case, I think his objective is to keep it a senior project just long enough to try and let this die down, and then we'll give it out to faculty to let them use it as research.
So for the next thing, can you talk about Jang's offer for the room next door?
So Jang has offered us, has suggested space in the room next door. What the current next steps based on that likely will be is that we prepare our space request Google document and outline what spaces we need, why we need them, what we do in them, everything that we do in a club, and we put that all into a document. Then we will send that to Jang, who will then take it and, with that document, suggest that space to the chair. When do you need to be out of 141? The expectation for the move is to be mid-March, possibly late March due to the fact that that is the middle of midterm season.
So there's a chance, or like there's a reasonable chance we can move in next door, but the big concern is, hey, is he gonna bully us again when we move in next door with something? Like, is someone gonna be using a screwdriver alone, and then he comes in and is like, hey, safety violation, your club is closed?
Technically, he can't close the club. We do not fall under his division.
Okay, he could...
The worry is
Shoot
going
to the right.
the biggest problem with everything that's going on is that while we can guarantee that there will be a space for the club for probably the next 1 to 2 years, beyond that, questions will start to arise every year of the club having any space on campus. So unfortunately, if anybody in the chat's gonna be here for like 4 or 5 years out, I wish you luck. From my meeting on Monday, never to meet with that chair without deans present. This is for anyone in this chat who is either an alumni and helps out the club, or someone who is a lead or becoming a lead. Never let anyone meet with that chair without deans present. He was a complete bully and downright mean to me during that meeting.
What do we say if he walks in the room and you're the only one in the room?
I would
walk out.
The room.
Yeah, walk out the room.
Leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
leave.
If he walks into the room and you are the only person in the room, please leave the room, and please share that with everybody so they all know. You don't say anything. Don't, just pack up your stuff and leave. Sorry, I can't help you with anything. Yeah.
Is that everything?
So basically our next big step is hopefully that will occur. Nate, he has specifically instructed us not to go looking for space, and has specifically instructed us to do a lot less stuff, to basically not interact with this at all, despite except giving him the document that we need to do. Which that is our next step, is basically I will be talking with the leads. We will be assembling a document of what we do, why we need certain space, and outlining that. So if anybody wants to participate in that document, let your lead know. I will be happy to have more people. But yeah, I don't really have anything else. Unfortunately, the chair's a dick and we're suffering.
Where's the soundboard?
There's no soundboard in the stage.
Aw, that was a perfect time for a yippee.
All right, y'all. I'm heading out. Talk to you guys later.
Oh.
Talk to you
See
later.
ya.